And this recording will, in addition to the presentation, will be made available to you on the modernization page of the GinnieNET website. So if you go to GinnieNET.gov and hover over Issuers and drop down under Issuer Training, you're going to see a section called Modernization. When you click on that, we have a whole section dedicated to My GinnieNET. There's a training and release schedule. There are user materials, including user manuals, quick reference cards. There are recordings. Anywhere you see the word video, it is a recording from one of our sessions. There are call details for additional sessions. All of that information is available on the modernization page of the GinnieNET website. So we are recording this session, and we will make it available on that page. Just please keep that in mind when you are asking questions later on in the session. Just know that those questions will be recorded to assist other folks that probably have the same questions that you do. So, moving right along. Today we are joined by Tawhid Ali and Wade Gale of the Bank of New York Mellon. Between the two of them, they are going to give you a demonstration of the Multifamily Pool Delivery Module application and talk to you about the Pools and Loans page, as well as how you create, validate, and submit a pool through that new modernized Pool Delivery Module. We've got a few frequently asked questions we'll go over, and as you can see, we will open up periodically for questions. So we will allow you to, we will unmute your line. If you have a question to ask at that time, you're welcome to ask it. If you would prefer to send your question in through the chat, if you drop down to the bottom of your screen, there is a chat feature there or a Q&A feature. You can submit the question that way, and we're happy to respond that way as well. The Multifamily Pool Delivery Module is a modernized application in the My GinnieNET portal. We have had this application in production for over a year now, and we've had some multifamily issuers become early adopters of the portal, access that application, and they have been conducting business through the Multifamily Pool Delivery Module. We'll get to this a little bit later, but as soon as you gain, your organization administrators give you access to My GinnieNET. If you are a multifamily issuer, you will be able to begin pooling in MFPDM if you have that functional role assigned to you, meaning you are responsible for that particular business function. If you are not responsible for pooling or the submission of pools in your organization, you may not see MFPDM as an option that's available to you, but that has to do with the functional role that you're assigned, and you'll want to talk to your organization administrator, formerly known as a security officer or enrollment administrator, about that. So next slide, I think, takes us into my dashboard. Is that right? Oh, woo. No, we're going to stay on the agenda. We're not ready for a demo yet. Let's go back to the agenda. Sorry, guys. Okay, so from there, welcome. Like I said, my name is Letitia Jefferson. You'll have some contact information later on in this presentation. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me through the Customer Experience Group. But in the meantime, I'm going to hand it over to Tawhid Ali so he can give you an overview of the My Dashboard landing page in the My GinnieNET portal. Tawhid?
Thank you, Letitia.
So you can go ahead and share your screen.
Yes. Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tawhid Ali from BNY Mellon. Today I'll be assisting with the demo, and as we start, I'll give you an overview of the My Dashboard on My GinnieNET, the Pools and Loan tab, and the Maintenance tab. Now, once you log into My GinnieNET, you will land on My Dashboard, as you see on the screen here. Please note, if this is your first time logging into My GinnieNET, you will have to click under your name on the top right, as you see here. And going on, you will have to select your issuer number from the drop-down. Once you select your issuer number, the page will refresh, and you will then see all the data on the screen. Going down, you'll see that one of the features in MFPDM is that when you run your edits or business validations on your pools, you will receive notifications on your inbox as messages. And again, this is not limited to just for pooling data, but as well as information or notifications from Ginnie Mae or your account executives. You can also see the notification on the top right of the page here. When you click on it, you will also see the notifications containing the date and the timestamp. And if you click on the detail, one of the messages, you can then click on your pool and navigate from there into details. Also, you'll see Skittles on the screen. These status bars we call Skittles represents different statuses of pool and the number of pools within those statuses. So we have a all total count of the pool, draft, submitted for final certifications, final certified, issued, and finally tie pools. Now we'll move on to the Pools and Loan tab. So we'll click on the tab here. And here again you can see the Skittles that we saw on the My Dashboard with the same information. Going down, we have these categories here: ready for submission, passed, favorite, rejected, or certified. You can filter the pools you see below by, or you can also search for a pool with the pool ID on the search field. Or if you like, you can click on advanced, and there you can filter by the pool number, the pool type, issue date, draw number, custodian number, business rules, pool status, or transfer at issuance or tie pools. Below that, you have the pool detail. You'll see the pool number, pool type, issue date, draw number if there is any, the custodian name and their number, business rules, and the green check represents that when the business rules are run on these pools and they're passed, you will get the green notification with the check mark, the pool status, and the issuer ID. Another feature of these lists you see here, by clicking on them, you can sort based on that specific category. Going to the right, you can click on the little slider bar here, and with that you can delete the pool, you can submit your pool, you can also validate, export the pool if you like, as well as generating your documents or docs. This is also known as your reports, so you can generate your 11705, 11706, the 11706 with data, the 11711B, the Annex Special Disclosure, Edit Report, or the Non-Level Payment Provision Report. Now moving on, we'll go to the Maintenance tab. And here you'll be able to enter your Annex Special Disclosure, Non-Level Payment Provisions, subscribers, and your document custodian information. You can have the option of editing by clicking on the Edit button, and you can add detail, your identifier and the description for the Annex Special Disclosure. You'll also have the option of deleting existing disclosures. Going down, the same is possible for the non-level payment provision. You can click Add and enter the identifier and description. Same goes for the subscribers and your document custodian, where you can edit their address field if needed. And once you're satisfied with the information you enter, you can then save or cancel to back up. Now, I'll hand it over to Wade to show you guys for the pools and how to create them. Wade?
Thank you, Tony. That was really, really fast. I was still asleep. Didn't even wake up for my session yet. But thank you anyway. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm Wade Gill, the Customer Support Group Manager at BNY Mellon for Ginnie Mae. And welcome to MFPDM training. I know you have been hearing about this for the last maybe almost 3 years, and it's finally here. I know you can be a part of what the 17 other multifamily issues are part of since June of 2018. We have issued about almost 2,350 pools have been issued through MFPDM. That's about almost $12 billion. So people are actually doing business in the system. So we welcome your time, and I hope as soon as you get your access, you'll be able to go in and start issuing Ginnie Mae pools. What we're going to start up with.
Wait, it's Letitia. Before you wake all the way up, would you like to stop for questions, or do you want to push through and hold the questions till the end?
We want to hold the question to the end. After I do the review of the screens, and then we can ask the question there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You see, I'm awake. Good. Let's go. So what we're going to do, just to give you an idea what the system looks like, we're just going to view the screen. So I'm going to bring up a pool. We're going to look at a CL draw. So you'll get an idea what the data elements look like in terms of course, you're going to do some comparison. And of course, you have heard some terms that Toida had mentioned. So we just want to make sure, bring those in focus, that although they're a little bit different in this world, it's basically you'll see how they relate in terms of what you're currently doing. Okay, so of course in your world, when you do get this, it's going to be blank. You're not going to see any data, of course. You're going to go in and do your initial entry. But we just want to give you an idea what the screens look like inside of MFPDM. First, let's visit the area that has that blue section there. When you see the pool number, that section is always going to follow you everywhere you go according to the screens you are in. We're going to add in the pool type information. You're going to have the issue date, business rules passed. That's the first thing you notice. That's the new thing to MFPDM, because in our current space, we always talk about apply Ginnie Mae edits pass. Now it's the business rules, so that's the term you have to get used to in MFPDM. Of course, project number from the loan in the pool. Then we have draw number, pool type, pool amount, mortgage amount, submission type, security rate, interest rate, and maturity date. And of course, those fields are now filled in, but as we go ahead and start doing the populating the data on each page, you'll see the fields up there filled in accordingly. Also, back still on that page, right up the top where we have docs. And again, you're used to the word reports, but now they're calling it docs. So it's basically the same reports you'll print like you print currently in your current GinnieNET system. Export now is a lot of times people will do work in another system, but they want to do some export so they can integrate that information in their other system they have within their office. So we also provide the export file if that's needed for you. Recall. We have a recall button. Again, that's a little bit different to what you're used to in the GenNet world. Recall in the GenNet world means delete. We're deleting a pool from the network. You submit the pool, but you found out after submission you have to make some changes. So in GennieNet world, we call it delete. Now, in MFPDM world, we're calling that a recall. So anytime you mention the word recall, we know it's a pool that was submitted to the network. So those are some of the new terms you might have to get used to. And the next button right there is a refresh button. And I'm sure during the course of building a pool, you might have to end up using that refresh button a couple of times. Okay, let's just look at the middle part of the screen where they have the white section, where you have your issuer name and number. And then it also tells you who created the pool. So that is something new. You usually see when the pool is submitted, it appends in GinnieNet. Now we can follow who created the pool. So just in case Wade created the pool, I would know if Mary went into my pool and tried to mess up my numbers. So that we can track that. But we know Mary won't do that, but that's there. We can track that. We can see who last updated the pool, so I know that Mary went in and messed with my pool. So we can track all that information. The next thing we have is where the custodian information is, and of course that comes from the master agreement data. Then the next screen, that should be filled in with your AE. That's the account executive at GinnieNET, and I know the multifamily team, you know who you usually go to and ask for guidance. So that information with their phone number should be filled in on that screen also. At the bottom of the screen, since this is a pool that we have already entered, right below go back up a little bit to tell you, where it says certified by, it also displays that who the pool was certified by and the person's title and the time. And also on the other end, since this pool is a certified pool, it does have a FCN. So it also generates the FCN. That's a 32-digit number that we're used to, so we can identify the pool itself on the network, just in case. Now let's go to the meat and potatoes of the actual system. We have the pool detail, we have loan detail, and we have the draw history detail. That's basically how the system is set up. So let's visit our pool details screen. We also try to make it a little bit more organized by putting it in sections, so you'll notice that as part of the process when you go through MFPDM also. So let's visit the pool header, and it's also demonstrated a new feature you can collapse if you don't want to see all that data. Can you do that collapse again? See, you can collapse the information if you don't want to work in a section and you just want to continue working in one area. You can work in that area, then continue down. So you have the ability to collapse the different fields. Okay, let's do header information. And of course, header information, we're talking about the pool number. Those are the pool number that you get from requesting your pool number through GMEP. And we have the issue date. And of course, the system is current, month, and one you can issue. We'll show that a little bit more when we're actually doing a data entry. And we have the issue type, we have the pool type, and we have the submission type. So that's all the header information there. And let's go and look at the general information. We have the pool tax ID, the initial pay date, the delivery date, unpaid balance date, amortization method, and then we have a section there that we have categorized in rates. So we have all our rates there. Of course, this pool, some of the fields are filled in because it's a certified pool already. So you see the security interest rate, the mortgage interest rate, and the servicing fee. Then you have the PL/PN security rate, and at the bottom you have the first principal payment date, if that reference to your pool. Then you have the maturity date, and of course you have the cross-reference number, the PN of when the pool does its conversion. What's the next consecutive number to that pool? So that's basically information you'll find in the general information. Let's go into the master agreement. Of course, you're familiar with this. You cannot submit a pool until your master agreement information is actually filled in, because if you apply you run your validate your business rules, then you'll get some error messages there. Of course, this information comes from MAMS. All the accounts that were approved for 2020 will show up on your system. So you have the escrow accounts information, the ABA/federal routing number. That might be a little bit different in terms of what it says. Principal and interest account, that of course you might have more than one, and you pick from the list the one that goes with the pool you're currently doing. Then we have the escrow accounts. You have the ABA information plus the federal routing number, and of course the account number. And if you do use a subscriber, you would have actually set up that information from in MAMS, and then it will be transferred over to MFPDM. Then you have the ABA number. That's the delivery instruction. Who's going to get the security at deliverance or at settlement? So you have that, put that information in. Basically, what you currently do in the current GinnieNet system. Now, after that's done, the position and the total goes there too. Now, the next block is the certification and agreement form 11711B. Now, this is a little bit different because in GinnieNet, this is a screen all by itself. So you have to go out from where you're processing and continue and fill in this field. So we try and make it a little bit more user intuitive for the people who are actually using GinnieNet, using MFPDM. So instead of going out of the screen, you just stay right in the screen and process your 11B. The same process. You have the two reasons, and you choose which one goes with the data you're putting in for that pool. And of course, you have the pool stats. Just an overview of what the pool information that was entered in. So we still give you that information there. So if anybody needs to see that as a running total and what are the fields that are filled in, you have that information at the bottom. So that's the pool details. You know, it doesn't say 11705 anymore like how it was in GinnieNet. So those are some of the differences you're going to notice. Now, we have done that. Now let's go and just check out the loan screen before we actually go into actually doing a full data entry on a PN pool. And again, you notice the blue section, it does follow you all the time, and as we go along, the information will be filled in. So to actually, this is how the loan is displayed before we actually go into the field itself. It shows the issuer loan number, it shows the case number, it shows the mortgage amount, the security interest rate, and the mortgage interest rate. Those things are displayed. And then once we click on or select the issuer loan number, it brings up the page itself. Again, we have kind of put in segments so it might be easier for the user to follow. So we have the general information. And the same thing, can we collapse here too just to see if that's possible? Yes. So we have the same feature there that might help the users when they're actually setting up the pool. So let's check out the general information on the loan detail. We have the issuer loan number. We have the unique ID number. Of course, that generates after the pool is electronically certified by the custodian. That's why we are seeing that 9-digit number there right now. We have the mortgage type. We have the mortgage interest rate. And then we have the section for balloon payment. And of course, that's a new feature since last April, I think, or July in MFPDM, because some users were still doing pools manually because of they couldn't do balloon payments via GinnieNet. So we have incorporated balloon payment now in MFPDM. So hopefully, if the group that's coming on now do balloon payments, this will help you to eliminate those manual pools. So the balloon payment, it says, is this a balloon payment, yes or no? The amortization basis term, you put in the year and the month, and then you have that little disclosure there. The pool does not conform to a straight line amortization schedule. You have that there, and then you have to confirm it. And then I think when you save the information, it generates a approximate balloon payment amount. So that's what you'll need to do your balloon payments now. Mortgage amount, you have the original principal, the P&I, the principal and interest, and you have the unpaid balance. The term of mortgage. Now, this is not a little bit different. It is different. In GinnieNet, you only enter years. Now, in MFPDM, you have the ability to enter years and months. And I know this might help a lot of people in terms of when they're setting up their pools. So in terms of mortgages, you can do years and months now. Next, the pay dates. We have the first pay date and the last pay date. Then we have the mortgage note date. That's the loan origination date and the initial endorsement. And then we have on the other side of the prepayment provision, we have the lockout date, lockout term, lockout end date, prepayment period, prepayment end date, and prepayment description. So all those, and you're familiar with those fields. We kept them just as you're used to them in the GinnieNET system. So to make your transition much easier than what you might think. You only have the indicator for the min and the mom. If the loan is registered with MERS, you'll actually fill in that section. And we go down and finish up that screen before we get into the draw screen. We have the agency details, so we kind of put it in segments. So we have the FHA USD case number. We have the loan type code, development costs, and we have the section of the act in their own little space there by themselves. Ratios, if it applies, I think some of those fields we're not using right now. We have the debt service coverage ratio and the loan to value ratio. Then we go down to our Annex special disclosure information. We have the identifier. It makes it easy now. If you're using basically the same template for your PN pools or your PL, you can set it up as your identifier. So you bring up that same information all the time. You might need to make some adjustment because of maybe issue date or some other information you can put in there, but you can identify it as a PN identifier and then make the changes that way. So you have the loan, the non-level payment provision also. You can do the same on that, but you can set it up the way which will work best for you in your environment. We have the non-level payment schedule if that warrants for that pool. Then we go on to the mortgager information. We have the name of mortgager, the property site address, the city, the state, and of course the zip code. So that's basically the information that's entered on your loans. I'm getting ready for some mortgage detail because I'm so old school. That's what I'm used to. And I have to try and get used to these new terms. Loans. Okay. Now we're doing a draw. So let's see what the draw screen looks like before we get into the data entry. And just a reminder, we're running this in our UAT environment. So if you notice, sometimes it takes a while to generate and display the screen. Again, you notice the blue section, and this follows us everywhere we go. We can't get rid of it. It's a part of MFPDM now. So we just have to live with it also. Now for the draw screen. Looks completely different from what you're used to in the current world. We have the pool detail. No, we did pool detail already. We have the draw number. We have the draw issue date. We have the advance number, and this since we're on this subject, and we'll kind of, now in your GinnieNET, when it came on to the advances, we usually have to put advance 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 or 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. Now you don't have to do that. If you have 2 advances for this pool, you can actually go in and add them into the system. You can put 1 advance. If it's $50,000, you put that. Advance number 2, you put the $300,000. You can do that. So that's a little different from what we currently have in GinnieNET, and I think users will enjoy this better than how it was presented in GinnieNET. You have the advance amount. You have the cumulative approved amount, requested amount, cumulative requested amount, and the remaining advance amount. That is, sometimes you usually have some something less than maybe some remainder amounts left in. You can actually add that there, and maybe at the end when you're getting ready to do your conversion, you make sure that amount that's left over there needs to be a part of the final draw also. And of course, we have the status that shows the pool as final certified. And the bottom piece, they just tell you approve amount to date, cumulative requested amount, and mortgage amount. We designed the screen. It also looks a little bit different, and I think you'll find it a little bit more user friendly in actually setting up your pool on the system. Okay, so that's just to give an overview of what the system looks like before we go into data entry. I think we should break here and just ask if there are any questions. So, Letitia?
Yeah. So if folks on the line would like to ask questions, there's several ways that you can do that. If you drop down to the bottom of your screen, there is a way to type a question if you would like to type a question in the Q&A. Also, you can drop down to the bottom of your screen to raise your hand if you joined the audio via your computer. So if you have joined the audio via your computer speakers, if you go to the bottom and raise your hand, that will indicate to us that you would like to ask a question, and you would do that over your computer audio. If you dialed into today's session over a phone, then you are able to hit *9 to indicate that you would like to ask a question, and we are able to unmute your line. So again, Q&A or raise your hand on the screen, at the bottom of the screen, or *9 if you want to ask a question over a phone line. Okay. So, Wade, we do have a question that came in through the chat. This person wants to confirm that subscriber, custodian information, all of that stuff that you see on the maintenance screen will be available in MFPDM as it is in GinnieNET, and that there's nothing that they need to do to port that over.
Yes. Once those accounts were approved accounts for 2020, they will be in your MFPDM maintenance screen, and you should be able to just pick them from the list when you're setting up your pool. Yes.
Thank you. Ian, do we have anyone on the line who would like to ask a question, or has anyone raised their hand to join us through the computer?
We got two people who are dialed in. I'll give the area code and the last 4 digits, so just keep an eye out on that to know which line I'm opening. So first one, area code 281, last 4 digits are 4169. Go ahead.
Hi, can you explain a little bit more about the advance number? Because there is a draw number and an advance number, so.
Well, it's going to be like when you're doing the first draw, that's going to be draw number 1. Then on the system, you do have an advance, and currently in GinnieNET, you do advance 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. Now we're giving you the ability, if you have 3 advances for draw number 1, you are able to actually put in all the advances and the amounts. You don't have to lump them up as one amount. So that's one of the big differences.
As a separate line item.
As a separate line item, yes.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Advance number 1, $50. Mm-hmm. Advance number 2, $10. So we set it up that way. So users will be able to work with that much better.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The question about what are tie pools?
Well, tie pools, most of the multifamily people don't do immediate pool transfers. That's the name that GenMay is going with now, tie. But if you're familiar with pit pools, those are immediate pool transfers. The pools are transferred at issuance. So that's why we have that tie pool there. If it's performed or anybody does that function, that process in MFPDM. If you're used to immediate pool transfer, that's what tie is.
Thank you, Wade. We have another question that came in. This is a good one about construction draws. So for construction draws that are currently in process in GinnieNET, will they continue to be processed in GinnieNET, or do they begin to pull those down in MFPDM?
Good question. That person just went ahead because we have that question covered in our frequent asked question. Yes, any pools that you're currently doing processing via GinnieNET, we are asking you to finish the process via GinnieNET. For MFPDM, it's all initial pools. Your initial PNs, your initial CLs, You won't do the history pools yet in MFPDM. So you're going to finish all your processing on the GinnieNet. If you're in draw number 10 and you need to go to 50, then you do a conversion. You're going to finish that on GinnieNet before we get to the conversion piece as part of MFPDM. Yes, all initial pools in MFPDM.
So we've got another question in regard to the pool types. Can CS pools be handled by the new Multifamily Pool Delivery Module?
Yes, they should be. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Disha, we have two others dialing in. Area code 813-1031. Go ahead.
Hi, Wade, it's Joanne at First Housing. So am I to understand what you were just talking about, the construction deals that are currently in process, that even if they are not at final endorsement before the May termination date, for lack of a better term, that's just for GinnieNet standalone as a legacy, not for GinnieNet through the new MyGinnieMay.
Right. Anything you're processing in GinnieNet, like especially for the draws, those are you're gonna continue the process in there. For MFPDM, if you for tomorrow, you went in and you say, oh, I'm good, I'm ready now. Wade did a fantastic job helping to do the training, and I'm ready to start. If you cannot do draw number 4 in MFPDM. You have to start with the initial pool.
So wait, I'm sorry, let me jump in here because I heard the question a little differently and I want to make sure that we're clear. So what I heard you ask is, for any work that you've done in the old GinnieNet, can you begin to go through the GinnieNet in MyGinnieMay to finish that work is what I heard. And if that is your question, the answer is it's the same GinnieNet. Whether you are going to GinnieNet directly today, and then begin to log in through MyGinnieMay tomorrow when you get your MyGinnieMay account, you are accessing the exact same system. So there isn't a old GinnieNet and a new GinnieNet in MyGinnieMay. It is the same GinnieNet. It's just a different way of getting there.
Okay, so what we've been talking about on these other trainings where the legacy systems are going away in May, that's just the freestanding one, not the one that
No, let me clarify. I'm glad you asked that question. The legacy systems are not going away. Your direct login access to the systems. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question.
I refer to it as a standalone, but I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yes. So your old credentials, which get you directly into those legacy systems, those will no longer work. You won't be able to go directly to GinnieNet and log in. You will have to go through MyGinnieMay to get to GinnieNet. So those old credentials to log in directly to those legacy systems will not do you any good after May. You will have to use your new MyGinnieMay account to go through MyGinnieMay to get to the existing GinnieNet application, as well as this new Multifamily Pool Delivery Module. So we're not disabling legacy systems. GinnieNet and GMAP RFS do not go away. You just cannot log into them directly.
Gotcha.
Okay, good question. Ian, we got another question on the line?
Yep. Area code 301, last 4 digits 5944. Go ahead.
Hi, I was just wondering when the official go-live date is for processing new pools through the MFPDM module.
Well, MFPDM has been live for over a year, so once your organization begins to pool through MFPDM, that's your go-live date. I feel like that was a little too simple. Is there another question? Did I answer your question? Are you still there? Star 9 if you got muted and need to jump back in. I want to make sure that I answered the question completely, so please don't hesitate to jump back in and make me answer that one completely. So Wade, question for you. Are we going to get to loan modifications in the next section of this demonstration?
No.
So how do you handle a loan modification in MFPDM?
On which, Vicky, are you on the line?
Sorry, I didn't unmute my line. There is the loan modification section. It's on the 11705, and there should be a tab that says loan modification.
Thank you, Vicky. But we're not going to cover that today. But I'll show you when we get on that screen so everybody can see where it is.
And the steps to conduct a loan modification are in the MFPDM user manual, that's correct?
Yes, all of that stuff is in the user manual.
Yeah, and the MFPDM user manual is on the modernization page of the Ginnie Mae website. So please go visit the Ginnie Mae website to find the MFPDM user manual. Do we have another question on the line, Ian?
Nope, nothing left.
Okay, I don't think we have anything in the chat. So Wade, if you want to go ahead and proceed, and we'll open up for Q&A again later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, now we've done the overview, so we think we're ready. So we're going to try and enter just a simple PN pool. What we're doing is just to make sure we get how the fields work and the feeler work of the field, so you get an idea when you start doing your pools on your own. So right up the top there, you'll see that button that says Add Pools. So we're going to click on that. Then it comes up to the Add Pools screen. And you have Enter Pool data manually. And I think over the years I've worked with the multifamily users. Most people I know do manual entry because you're entering one loan. If you also have the ability to import the pool data file. So if you choose to do that because you're using MFPDM, you can go ahead. But for our demonstration today, we're going to do enter pool data manually. So we're going to click on enter manually. What it does, it brings up the screen. You notice up the top we were talking about earlier where the blue section, it's all empty because we have to populate that information with the proper data elements as we fill in the screens. So we're going to start out with the pool detail. In our world 11.7.5, we're going to start with the header information. Pool number. Everybody knows that there are pool numbers that are assigned to you, and you actually do that request through RPN through GMEP. Now, a feature that we're going to have here, and I think we should be able to do a demonstration of it. If you put in an incorrect pool number and it does not belong to you, the system will generate a message, and that's the message you'll see. Pool number may be assigned to another issuer or may not yet be available in system. So those are things that we're checking up front. In our old world, this pool would have come into us, we would have processed it, we would have run through Ginnie Mae system, and then it would have given us a error, so this pool does not belong to issuer 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will have to contact you. See, right now you can do that up front because you could have made a typo on the pool number and it changed the entire, that pool number might not belong to you anymore. So at least we give you that edit right up front before you save anything, tell you that pool number is not yours, and you have to go back and make sure you didn't do a typo. So we're going to enter our pool number. Then our issue date, of course, processing is current month and 1, so we can do our February issue pools, and also we can start doing our March issue pools. So we're going to do a February issue pool. We still have time to actually issue this pool. Issue type, That's the system actually picks that for you, so you don't have to do a drop down and select anything there. That's static. Pool type. We're gonna do a type, a PN project loan. So we're gonna pick PN, non-level payment, and then it's submission type. Now this is a little bit different. Now you notice that we're not showing anything to do with CL or CS or RX there, because we picked the project loan, so it's only bringing up things dealing with a project loan. So we're going to do initial project because that's what we're trying to process. So we have all our basic information for our pool header. Now let's go to the general information. And again, we're going to enter our pool tax ID number. That's that 9-digit number you get from the IRS. That must be unique. If it's not unique, then the system will also tell you that it must be at least 9 digits. You have the initial pay date, which is system generated. Now you have the delivery date. That's when your securities will be delivered to your investor. And you have two ways of doing this. This is different to what we currently have in GinnieNet. You can do the date by just entering the pool information, or you can use the calendar to select your date. So I'm not good at this. Of course, I'll go old school and just enter that date, because this thing always gives me trouble. But I'm sure everybody will be able to work out whichever works best for them. Unpaid balance date, and we have the amortization method. And again, all the pools are CD, so there's no selection. In GinnieNet, we had to select. CD, now we don't do that. It's constant in MFPDM. The rates, we're going to put in the security interest rate. And of course, the mortgage interest rate and servicing fee will generate a little bit later once we have all the data elements in the system. And our maturity date. And again, the same thing goes with the maturity date. You can do the straight data entry, or you can actually select it from the calendar. So once that's done now, we're going to the master agreement information. And we're selecting master agreements because these were the accounts that were approved, and then they were updated into maintenance on MFPDM. So we're going to select our custodian information. If we had actually have a subscriber approved, we would have had the information there. Transfer at issuance, that's what we're talking about, the PIT pool. If this pool is going to be a part of the PIT pool, that means if the pool is issued, it's going to change ownership. So that's what the tie comes up in about. We're going to do no here. We're not going to make any transfer. We're just going to keep it as our issuer number that we have. Principal and interest, of course, those are the accounts that we downloaded from MAMS, and now the account number. We select that. And if you notice, you can't type anything there because that number is not there. Now we have escrow account, and it's a little bit different. You have to add and then select. And then the account number. And so all your master agreement information is in, and those are from all the information that was approved for 2020. Now for your subscriber information, add. And since you set up your information in maintenance, you can actually pick that deliver instruction from what you have there. So you can select that, or you can add another one if you want. So you have the ability to do that. Let's do the select, and then description. If you had ever added description for your delivery instructions, you can put that information there, just like in the old system. And then your position amount, the amount that's going to be issued anyway, you'll put that amount there. And of course, it's without cents. No cents here. It's a no cents zone for the subscriber. Now, for the servicing agreement, I mentioned to you that you don't have to go in and out of 11705 to process this. It's now a part of the loan details flow. So, but you as the user will need to know which one of these statements goes along well with your loan. If you choose the first one, you know that it's going to say forward to document custodian. You have to send that 11711A form to the document custodian and you then choose yes. If it's a second statement, then you just select the second one, and it does not say you need to send that 11711A. Only the first statement you're going to require to send that form. So once all of that information is in the system, and I said, I think I did a good job for my first pool. So let me hit save button and see what happens. And if that's, maybe I can jump and say hallelujah for a little bit if everything goes well. See, I got that message, saved successfully. That's what I want to see. So, man, I did good for my first pool on pool details screen. And notice the pool number information and some of the data elements are currently, they're just filling in as we go along, if you notice that up top. So I feel good. I'm on a roll. I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to go for that loan. So let's click on loan and see if we can enter the loan information. And once you bring up the screen, it says no data available in table, which makes sense because we need to add it. So we're going to add loan. Let's click on add. And there we go. We have all the fields available for us to add the information. Let's start with the general information first. Let's put in our loan, issuer loan number. That's that 15-digit number from your internal system, of course. Then we have the loan type, FHA or USDA, mortgage type, I mean. Then we have the mortgage interest rate. I think what Toyd is trying to tell me that reading is fundamental. I think he's pointing on the word because I'm saying the wrong thing. Mortgage interest rate. But balloon payment, is this a balloon payment? Let's show them what the screen looks like. Just, if you say yes, then you put in the years and the amortization term, that's amortization basis term, and then you're going to confirm that statement. Then you click yes. Are we keeping it as a?
Yes.
Oh, okay, we're keeping it as a balloon. Okay, we'll do that. And now we're going to put in our mortgage amount, our original principal balance, the unpaid principal balance, the interest rate, P&I, term of mortgage. And now this, you notice now we're doing term of mortgage on the loan screen. In the current GinnieNet, you have this on the 11705 screen where you put in the term of mortgage, but it was only in years. We had no months. So now this is a little bit different. Now it gives you the chance to put the years and the months. Payment date, first payment date. And it's always 01. And then the last pay date. And then let's go down to the mortgage note date, the loan origination date. Let's put that in. And again, this comes up with you can do the straight data entry, or you can actually select the information, the date from the calendar. and then initial endorsement, and then final endorsement. And a prepayment provision, if there's one, or if yes or no. If you say no, click on no. And we're gonna, the mom or min indicator, we're saying no because the loan is not registered with MERS. Then you have the agency detail. So we're gonna put in the case number, and then the loan type code. And of course, it only shows FHA. You know, in the other system, I think you have FHA and RD you choose from. Now it's just, you're doing an FHA multifamily, so it picks it up from the other areas, and then you don't have to go through a drop down anymore, and select section of the act. That's up the drop down, and you choose the one that goes along with the pool. Once that information is, and we go down to a Annex special disclosure identifier information. We choose the identifier first, and from choose the identifier, let's go to the PN. And what it does, since we have already set up the pool with the information for the description, so we can pick it at this point in time. If you want to go in and change this, you can. For each pool, it might be a little bit different, so you have the ability to change this. You have this ability, also the ability to capture this from maybe your Word document and also upload into that space. So you have all those different things you can do actually to get that information in. So once that information is in, and you're going to do the same thing for the loan level. We set it up first in maintenance, and then we have the information there. Once that's done, if it's a non-level payment schedule, we don't have anything, right?
No.
Okay. So we're going to put in the mortgage information. The mortgager name. The property address. Toyi, I think you should put Wade G Hospital. Thank you. I've got it like that. Then you put in the city. And the zip code. Okay. So I think we did it, people. I think we were able to enter all the data elements for the loan on that PN pool. And if we're good with this, we should hit save, and let's see what happens. Say it's successful. Save successful, actually. Let's refresh. You notice now, I should also, that's what I didn't tell you. We're working, that's another status we have in MFPDM. We have draft. So any pool that you're working in currently is going to be in draft. I notice all the necessary information now is actually filled in. We have the pool amount, the mortgage amount, and some of those other, the project number is filled in. Now, I am feeling so good on this PN, I just want to go straight ahead and do my validation. And again, validate here is the same thing you have in GinnieNet as apply GenMay edit. So let's do the validate. The pool has been submitted for validation. And notice now the pool is locked. And notice a message comes up so fast, but we can still show you what that message is. It should be logged there. You notice that it said BZ0906 business rules successfully completed, and the rules have passed. That's what you want to get for your first pool. You want to jump for joy, and if you click on that pool, what happened? You basically see the same thing, right? Let's see. It tells you that the business rule has now passed. So we're in good shape. So we have actually entered the pool detail and the loan information, and we are happy. What I usually do, we can actually look at, let's just quickly check out our documents before we'll click on more, and then we have docs right there on this page. Let's just look at 11705. Just want to make sure that it generated correctly. Tony, where's my 11705?
Again, this is a test environment. We do have another option to generate the docs from the Pools and Loan tab.
Oh, we'll do that when we do the submission. That's okay. That's okay.
It actually did generate your illustration.
Oh, there it is, hiding from you. There it is. Let's view it on the screen. Yes, there. Yes, bring it up a little bit. So it shows the pool information on the screen. And you notice right now there's no file transmission number there. It's blank because we didn't submit. So we are just viewing our information just to make sure everything looks good. So the P&I and the T&I, all the master agreement information is filled out on the screen. Can you go down to the bottom of the form, please? And of course, we still have the authorized signature information is all there. So once the pool is submitted, that information should be filled in along with the FTN for this particular pool, that 32-digit number that we're used to. And we encourage you to print, if you're someone who prints your documents, you print them after the pool is submitted. Okay? You know what? I am ready to submit this pool. I'm just ready to send it off to the custodian so I can say, yes, I did my first MFPDM pool and I am bad. Reference the Michael Jackson song, of course. So, submit. Trying to locate the pool that way. Tell me when you find the pool. Is it because you have the lowercase? Trying to locate that pool. There it is. On this screen, we have those little, you see those little 3 dots there? And because I'm also a authorized signer, because we have different roles here, this could have been a basic user. That means this person does not have authorized status to actually submit pool, doesn't have a token. So they would have to submit this information to the authorized signer. That's another difference there in the system. So I am an authorized signer, so that's why with that little pull out there, you'll see the word submit. So I can actually submit this pool. I have my token. I'm on the 11702. Let's click on submit. And here's the screen, pool submission for certification. We're going to click yes, and the pool number is there, of course. Then we want to do our RSA token. So let's click on secure. We should know how this works. This is our 4-digit PIN. And our 6-digit passcode that would generate after that. Just want to, before you press enter here, just don't do it because it might change. And submit. if you're going to be a authorized signer, you want to make sure when you're setting up getting your functional roles, you're adding that token with your registration information, so that token can get provisioned to the new GinnieNet, the new GMAP ID, not GMAP, MGM ID. Okay, what's this? What happened here now? You're going to Maribel. Okay, pool submitted for certification on 2/3. Pool have been submitted to document custodian. So what happens at this point, just like how it is in the old world, a notification is actually generated and sent over to the custodian. And just to let you know, the custodians are still certifying this pool in our GinnieNet space. They have not converted over to MFPDM yet, so they're still doing the pool in the GinnieNet world, because we still have to. So that we'll get to that part later in terms of bringing them into the portal with their new application. But they're still certifying all the pools in the GinnieNet space. So that's the notification that the pool has been submitted to document custodian for certification. You'll receive further notification once the document custodian takes action. So that's a little bit different. Now, can we go back to click on that? And you notice right up where it's the pool number, and it says submitted for final certification. So that pool is in the hands of the custodian now. Toey, can you go back to back to the main screen? Yes, please. So what would have happened? The pool would have moved over from draft to submit for final certification. So the pool would have been in that space that Han is looking at right now. And then once that's done, those are the two pools that's the pool that's available, makes up those two. If the custodian certifies that pool tonight or today, the status that pool would go over to the next status with the purple, the one in the purple with the flag. That would be for the final certification. And if everything goes well with the pool is certified. It's either downloaded during our 2 o'clock sweep or our 9 p.m. sweep, and everything goes well. And we at BNY Mellon do our due diligence, and we call it release in our office every 4 o'clock. We will issue that pool. So I wanted to bring up that issued because that's a little bit different. You never see that status was never a part of GinnieNet. So you could never track your pool if they were issued. So this, I think, is something new, and I think it will also make the users of the system work a little bit easier. Now you can track the pool and see the status of the pool from the draft to pool when it was issued. We never had that, so that's a new feature I think people will use, and I've heard people that were in the pilot program who did use this system for the last year and a half, so they like that feature now. They can actually see the pool know when those pools are issued. So that's a new feature. Now pool is submitted. I just want to print my reports again just to make sure I can do it. And my FTN number does append. Let's go to 11705 as just an example. There it is. That FTN number. That FTN number is now there. Of course, it doesn't change. The issuer number, the custodian number, the pool number, issue type, pool type, date, time, and the last digit makes up a security check digit for 32. Can we go down to the end? And there is Maribel, MF Issuer End User 3. So that's the name and title. Fills out on on the form. So those things still happen, and the pool is actually not issued, but submitted to the system, to the custodian for their processing. There's a couple of things we want to just mention. Can we go back up? Can you go back to the screen where we can see the recall and yes, I mentioned it earlier when we were just going through the screens. Now that's another term that we're used to now, and we have to get used to in MFPDM, recall. In GinnieNet, you would say, I need to delete this pool because I made a boo-boo. Maybe I need to add a different address. Maybe my spelling was not correct, and I found it out before the custodian did. We can now recall the pool. Is it possible? Can we recall this pool? Let's try and recall the pool. So the pool is submitted. I want to make change. So we're not doing any delete anymore. We're now recalling the pool. That's the new status, or that's the new process now. And we click on recall, no delete. So recall is we're changing the status that's currently out there that's out there on the network. Pool has been successfully recalled, and it gives you all the notification. Let's refresh because we wanted the status was to change. Now, once that pool has been recalled, the status is going to change. It's not going to show. It's going to change now to draft. So that allows you to go in and edit the pool, make your changes again, validate, and submit to your custodian. So that's a new thing now we have as recall. Of course, you have to edit first and make your changes. So recall is new, and then we can export. We can export the pool now if you want to do that. So that is something. We had that in GinnieNet, but we just want to tell you we still have that function here. And Tori, did I miss anything that I should tell them right off the bat?
Nope, I think you covered most of it.
I think I did. So, Letitia, it's over to you now. If anybody wants to ask any question on our very short demo in reference to how we do data entry on a multifamily pool on MFPDM.
Fantastic. Thank you, Wade. We did have someone, I didn't catch what screen it was on, but we did have someone note that you entered a date of 2019 and it didn't kick back an error. Was that intentional? Do you happen to remember what screen you were on when you did that?
Toy, do you remember?
Yes, that was the loan detail.
Okay. And 2019 was an acceptable date, or is it because we're in a test environment that it didn't kick back an error message? What was that?
That's the loan origination date.
Got it. Okay. Then that would be an acceptable date.
Yes.
Okay.
Good catch, that person.
We're not going to say any names. All right. Ian, do we have questions on the line? *9 if you are joining us on a phone line and want us to open the line so you can ask a question. Raise your hand at the bottom of the screen if you have joined the audio through your computer, or you're welcome to enter a question in the Q&A.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Lemanowski has a question. So, Joe, you can go ahead.
Joe?
You're unmuted. Make sure, I don't know if you're, confirm you're using PC audio or have a microphone. All right, you can raise your hand again if you're able to figure it out.
Joe, if you're listening to the audio through your computer speaker, You should be able to talk into the computer to speak to us. But if you have joined the audio over a phone line, we're going to need you to hit *9 on the phone line.
I think we have a couple of questions in the Q&A portion.
We do. So the first question we have is, let me make sure that I understand this question. Under the section of the Act, are you able to type in the field, or do you have to choose from the drop-down? I'm not sure I understand that question. Does that one, are you able to decipher that one for me, Tauheed, Wade, or Vicki?
You can. You can enter it on the mortgage detail screen if it's under the special annex disclosure or the prepayment penalty description.
Okay.
You can enter it and you can save it. It will save on your maintenance. It will give you a copy of it there also.
Okay. All right. If that does not answer your question, please type back into the chat. The next question, can you recall a pool after the document custodian has certified?
Yes, you can. Of course, we still have those rules that it has to be, you can recall before 12 noon the next day once submitted, so you still can do that. If you still want to recall after 12 noon, then it becomes, you have to get in touch with the customer support group to help you with that. But for you to do it on your own, yes, you can recall up to 12 noon the next day once that pool has been certified by the custodian, yes.
Okay. Does the original signed 11705 need to go to the document custodian?
I believe that's between the issuer and the custodian. That would not be one of our requirements.
Yeah, I would ask you to submit that question to your account executive so that they can give you a policy interpretation on that one if you're still unclear. The next question, how can a loan have an origination date earlier than the pool date? Don't they all? Can someone help me with that question? Because I don't think
I thought the origination date would be before the pool date anyway.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not following the question. If you want to type back into the chat and help us understand, I'm not sure how we missed that one, but we're not quite following. Sorry. Okay. Do I have anyone on the phone line, Ian?
Nope, nobody else. I think there's one in the chat about uploading pools.
Oh, let's move over to the chat. Here we go. So if we upload pools via file upload and find out that the data is incorrect, can we re-upload a new file and overwrite the data that was there previously?
Yes.
No?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, sorry. It's the Wade Gale accent. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. From the end of Wade.
Y-E-S.
Y-E-S.
Yes.
Says
also,
in his Wade Gale accent.
If you're looking at the screen, there is a option to select the override prior submission. So the system, once you select it, the system will replace the previous submission in the previous pool.
Thank you, Toby and Wade Gale. So how many months prior to a pool date can a loan be originated in MFPDM?
Can we get back to you on that question? The same business rules that apply in GinnieNET applies in MFPDM.
Thank you, Vicki.
I want to take a look at the pool. And do we have the issuer that's asking the question or the user?
We do.
Can we get back to them? Okay.
Yes, we do. We can follow up. Mm-hmm.
All right. I was on mute for a few minutes. I got disconnected. But I just wanted to answer two questions that were asked earlier on. And I believe the first question was from Eric, where you asked if you're entering a construction draw, a CLCS in GinnieNet currently today, with the next release of MFPDM, you can enter your next consecutive CLCS draw in MFPDM, and that's coming, so you can look forward to that. Now make it a little bit easier to move from GinnieNet to MFPDM.
Oh, but the operative word there, Vicky, coming.
It's coming.
It's not there yet.
It's not there yet, but it's coming.
Yeah.
The other question was from Kamala. I believe you asked about the modification. And after you entered the 11705 on the new draw, on the next consecutive draw, you entered 11705 and you save that. You can go to the construction draw screen, and we have it displayed where you can select modified mortgage. The system will generate the old mortgage amount, and you're able to enter the new mortgage amount in that screen.
Oh, that's where we put it, yes. Not on 11705 anymore, on the draw screen. Okay.
Okay, so I'll pass it back to you, Letitia.
Thank you. Okay. No such thing as a silly question, you guys. Sometimes I may not understand your question, and I will work to understand your questions better, but it doesn't mean don't ask them. So please do, if you have any questions, let us know. Ian, is there anyone on the line, on the phone line, that has a question for us?
Nope.
Okay, *9 if you've joined us on a phone and would like to have us request that we unmute your line so you can ask a question. I don't see as anyone raise their hand to ask a question over their computer audio.
Nope, nothing there either.
Okay. I don't have any more questions in the chat box. Ian, can you please open up the poll?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So this, again, once again, if we can go back to the deck, our presentation for today. We've got a couple more slides to go over before we let you go. But if you look over in the chat, there is a link for you to complete a survey. We'd love to hear your feedback about how it went today. If there's content that we didn't cover that you feel is important for us to cover in regard to our directions regarding MFPDM, please let us know. If there's something that we did not explain in a way that you feel we need to provide additional clarity around, please let us know. We will be hosting this session again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have colleagues that were not able to attend, they're welcome to join us tomorrow. The call details are on the modernization page of the GinnieNET website. And if you give us just a little bit of time, we will also be posting the recording of today's call on the modernization page of the GinnieNET website so that you can refer back to the recording of this session. Again, the modernization page on GinnieNET.gov, there's a link right here. If you go to GinnieNET.gov, hover over Issuers and then drop down to Issuer Training, you will see the word modernization. Click on that and it'll open up the modernization page that has several sections on it regarding our modernization initiatives. Select the plus sign next to My GinnieNET to open up the accordion, and it's Pandora's box, folks. There are user guides for My GinnieNET, user guide for MFPDM, quick reference cards, all of the overviews, which are the presentations from these trainings, will be posted there, as well as our release and training schedule. If you want to see additional opportunities to attend training, you can click on that and see what's coming up, even before we post the details for those events. So please do reference the modernization page of the GinnieNET website for that wealth of information. If you have technical questions about how to access the portal, how to use the Multifamily Pool Delivery Module, technical questions that the user guides, user manuals are not clearing up for you, then go ahead and give GinnieNET customer support a call or an email. That's Wade Gale's team at the Bank of New York Mellon, 1-833-GNMA-HELP. So that's 1-833-466-2435. And for any of you with high IQs that are out there counting those letters, yes, there is an extra letter. That's it. 1-833-466-2435 or email GinnieMay1@bnymellon.com. If you have some general questions about the release of My Ginnie Mae, the upcoming updates to MFPDM, any questions about training and our user materials, any other general inquiries, please reach out to the Ginnie Mae Customer Experience Group, me, at cxg@hud.gov. Again, my name is Letitia Jefferson. I am with the Office of Securities Operations here at Ginnie Mae. I am known as the Customer Experience Group Lead, and I am actually happy to help. So don't hesitate to send an email, you guys. And if you reference this presentation on the Ginnie Mae website, you'll notice there are some frequently asked questions. And do you mind taking us back up a couple slides to the beginning of those FAQs? So the team did put together some FAQs for you in regard to some of the things that you might want to know or encounter when working in MFPDM. If you go ahead and scroll down, Ian, you can see that there are several of them, including, you know, how to manage some of those pools, the certifications, where you go for help, that sort of thing. These FAQs will be published inside of this presentation and available on the Ginnie Mae website on the modernization page. Okay? Once again, fill out that survey. There's a link, should be to the right of your screen or in the chat box below in order to answer some questions for us about how we can do this better and better and better. So that is all we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Tauhid, Wade, Vicki, and Ian for helping us out today to deliver this training.
You're welcome.
Right,